Hello. At one point, there were supposedly 450 EV startup companies in China. Few have managed to bring a car to the market. One that has, and that you have probably never heard of, is Enovate. A combination of EV and innovate. Sheer genius, I know. Although the company is meant to have 3 production-ready models, only the ME7 is currently on sale. I say ME7, we're not absolutely sure whether this should be called the ME7 or ME7. In the sales chart of the 20 best-selling models from startups in April, it achieved 12th place with an insurance listing of 209 cars, making it, I'm afraid, pretty much C-list. But does it deserve to be? The company's vice president design is ex-Porsche, and although you don't necessarily see any influence from the German brand, the design is relatively interesting. First off, you've got this sculpted bonnet, creating what Enovate referred to as a shark nose. It seems though that the memo that this was an EV car only arrived right at the end of the design process, after they had already designed the front grille. So they simply decided to cover it over. I feel the design is particularly good around the C and D pillars, leading into the boot, an area which is usually difficult for designers. This is thanks to the use of strong lines, angled rear window, and chrome accents. If we take a look at the back, we have the electrically opening tailgate, complete with sound. While the floor and sides are relatively sturdy, we don't actually have much space here. There is also a problem. I'm about 1.75 meters tall, and I'm worried that I'm going to hit my head on this tailgate as it really doesn't open very high. There are 3 interior trim colors, all black, a beige and black, as we see on our test car, what I call the piano trim, black and white. I really like this trim, and I think it makes it look quite special inside. As is the trend in Chinese cars, you have side-to-side screens in the front, but unlike say the Li 1, these do not blend into one continuous screen. Instead, you have this contoured approach to the front dashboard. So you've got a 12.3-inch screen in front of the driver with instrumentation. Then you have angled towards the driver a 15.6-inch screen. This controls most of the car functions, plus there is also voice control. One surprising thing is this representation of the car. Look at its size compared with other cars. Having said that, the graphics are generally good, although navigation through the system could be quicker. There's no glove box, but there's a large amount of space here under the center console. The front passenger also gets a screen which has various entertainment options. While we're talking about screens, let's take a look at the back. Sure enough, there are 2 more here, and these are not optional extras. I cannot think of any other car that comes with 5 screens as standard. These ones seem to be Android-based and can surprisingly be used to control the front climate control, along with more expected functions such as watching a movie or listening to music. It's meant to be possible to throw items from one screen to another. In the back, we have plenty of headspace and legroom. The materials in general are good quality. We have Nappa leather and soft touch plastics. Also, this headlining around the panoramic roof is very sturdy. We often talk about one-pedal driving with electric cars, but few will actually come to complete stop. Well, the ME7 does. As with many Chinese EVs, the energy regeneration could be stronger. One-pedal driving is selected through the touchscreen menu. When not selected, the other setting does seem to have some mild energy regeneration, even when not braking. Along with an eco, comfort and sport modes, there is individual, which allows you to customize both acceleration and kinetic energy recovery through these sliders. Powering the car is one 160 kilowatt, 215 horsepower motor on the front wheels, which gives 330 Newton meters of torque. Now this seems a strange place to suddenly start talking about pricing, but bear with me, all will become clear. Like Li, there is essentially a unified pricing structure with no trim levels. There is though one big choice, whether you want the 410 kilometer or 530 kilometer range version. These are NEDC ranges. For the 410 kilometer version that we're driving, the cost is RMB 238,800. The longer range one comes in at RMB 268,800. I can find no official information on how heavy this car is or the battery size, but internet sources suggest the car is about 2 tons. What I can tell you is that 0 to 62 miles per hour, that's 100 kilometers an hour, takes 7.7 seconds in the shorter range version and takes 0.2 seconds longer in the longer range version, meaning the battery must be heavier. So by electric car standards, it's quite slow, but it's still going to be fast enough for most people, and we certainly didn't feel the car was too sluggish. The biggest problem with the drive is the steering. Initially I thought it was absolutely terrible, but actually having driven the car more, it's not quite as bad as I initially thought, although it is really quite loose. Our car is riding on 20-inch wheels. There's an option for 21-inch. The ride seems comfortable enough, with comfort being the optimal word. Shanghai tends to have pretty straight roads, so we were unable to really give the car's road holding much of a workout. Enovate has a host of ADAS features in the car, but these are only available if you make a RMB 13,000, a shade over US dollars 2,000 one-off payment for the Mi Pilot package. Our car has it fitted. We tried out the adaptive cruise control. While it's relatively smooth, however, unlike in the XPeng G3, for example, it will not do lane changes automatically when you indicate. We had less success with the automatic parking function. When we tried to parallel park in a space on our right, it tried to do rear parking in a non-existent space to the left. On the plus side though, there is a dedicated button for this on the center console, rather than having to search through a menu on the screen. The Enovate ME7 is a nice looking, well put together car. It has generous features, and while the steering is perhaps not that great, it generally drives quite well. However, its sales in China so far are lagging other startups. Anyway, let us know what you think is holding back this car from getting the sales it should. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for content on China's electrifying car market.